Bro, you totally butchered the intro right there at the end, but I
Yeah, I know
love
I
it.
killed it.
All right. Hey, folks, good morning. I apologize. I'm a sweaty mess. We just started high school conditioning. I do it for high school lacrosse on Tuesday and Thursday morning. So literally racing back from that. But I love doing this. I love teaching this class. This tool, RPR, has become invaluable to my business. I use it for everything. I use it for buyers. I use it for sellers. I use it for market research. It's kind of a one-stop shop that will give you all the information you need. So instead of going into, MLS and searching for certain reports, you can do it all through here, and it pulls it live feed. And the best part about this is you can do it nationwide. And I'm going to show you. There's two different ways to go to it. Last time I taught this class, I showed you guys how to go through it through the MLS that I was using particularly, which is NEFAR. But today I'm going to show you, there's actually an RPR site. And so, sorry, my high score is getting ready to go to school. So we're going to jump right into it. Let's see, share screen. Let's see here. All right, give me a second, guys. It's not showing up. Give me 1 sec. No, I would not like to launch the meeting. There we go. All right, so if you look, and this is a great thing about RPR, when you set it up, you're auto branded already. And so I come into here, let me move this stuff out of the way. All right, so when I come in here, if you look, this is straight to the RPR site. And if you look, this is a NAR site, guys. So the link is up here. I'll actually drop it in the chat for you guys. Actually, I don't know. It might come up with my information, but we'll give it a shot. Don't log in under my name, all right? But there we go. So put it in that way. You may have to trim it down so that it doesn't, it's not trying to log directly into mine. But you're going to come in. If you look, I haven't done anything to this except when I initially set it up. So when I come in here, it's already trademarked eXp Realty, right? And I'll show you the great thing about that. So I log into this site. Everybody see my screen? George, you're good?
Yes, sir. Good to go.
All right, cool. All right, if you look up here in the top right, here's the home page for RPR. Now, if you notice, it's already branded up here on the left. I've got my account over here, right? So the first thing you're going to want to do when you set this up so that you have your profile, you have your home page, is go in. You're going to put whatever picture you want to use. You're going to put a logo if you have that. You can just, it's already going to have EXP on your reports, and I'll show you that in a minute. You go down here and you do all your contact info. The nice thing is this is pulling live from your MLS, okay? So you can do your title, whatever you want your title to be here, realtor, broker, what do people have? Matchmaker, whatever you want it to be, all right? I don't put an office address, but I do have my area that I work, okay? And then down here, what it's going to do is it's going to autofill the brokerage name and everything else. I can't do anything with that. I can't change that up. That comes directly from the MLSs. Down here, I'm going to set it, and I'm going to go fast through this. So I'll check the chats occasionally, just throw stuff in because I want to really show you guys the reports. So here's my email. Here's my website, right? All this is going to be on there. If I want to put in a specific MLS or whatever, I do it down here. But here's my MLS ID and the MLS I belong to. All right. And then my license number's on here. So that's always there. And then, whatever I want to do. I don't receive the updates and news because I go in here. I use it pretty often. So I check all that periodically. Right. And then what you can also do is, here's the nice thing. There's a mobile access. So you can look absolutely like a stud when you're on site, and you can pull it up real quick. Here's my national ID number right here. And then here's my mobile device to make sure that's all set up. I set it up on January of 21, which was my most recent. You can update all your devices. It updates every 3 months right now. So what I can do is I have it on my phone. Anytime I'm on a site, like if we bump over to a house real quick, I don't have the MLS data right in front of me, or buyers are going to ask you all the time, what do you think we should make an offer? We love this house. What sort of offer do you think we should make? I can pull it up really quick and tell them. I can look at the AVM, which is similar to his estimate, but a lot more accurate because it's not an independently owned company. This is coming from the MLS and the National Board of Realtors. I can have an answer for them real quick. And then you just go in here and you set up how often you want the new listings, new listings within the last 14 days, recently sold. I have it set to last 6 months. In the really hot markets, you can change it down to last 3 months. And you can also do the same for commercial in here. All right, so to the meat and potatoes of this. If you look up here, there's a bunch of different stuff, and I highly recommend going in and teaching yourself some on this. All right, so you have your research, and this is where you can go in under research, and you can look at property searches, map, neighborhood, school search, residential market activity, and then you can also do commercial in here, okay? This is videos that'll teach you how to research. So I'm going to be skimming over this stuff quickly, showing you the highlights of what RPR is, but I'm not even going to recommend. I'm going to say like mandatory. You have to learn this system, guys. This is the best in my personal opinion. I don't know what everybody else uses, but this is the best way to do comps. And I'm going to show you why you can seriously dial this in, okay, for properties. But say I want to go in and I want to do a school search. My area, I'm in Northeast Florida, St. Augustine, Jacksonville, right? So I have people who call and they specifically want schools in, say, St. Johns County. It's one of the top school districts in the nation. So I'm going to do a school search, okay? What I can do with that is I can go in here, and this is a school I coach at. Oops, sorry, wrong area. I go in here and I write Creekside. We're going to do Florida. School type, high school. So I get people, especially for athletics, who are like, hey, we have to be in the Creekside district or Bartram or Ponte Vedra or whatever it may be. So I can click on that, all right? And it's going to make a fool out of me, watch. All right, let's try that again. So 2. Creekside School District. All right, what the hell? Sorry.
I think it's 32259, Matt. For zip code.
Yeah, it should just come up based off the high school though. All right, let's try it again here. Oh, you know why? Because I'm a moron. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties here. I promise it's a great program. It's the guy on this end this morning.
Minor setback.
Right? Littering and. All right.
While you're doing that, Matt, can you put multiple MLSs on there? Because I have my MLS out here. I think I'm very rural. I have RPR, but I can never get data. Can I put a different MLS on there for?
Yeah. So under accounts, that's where you go in and you add your MLSs. And so what you're going to do under the account section, you'll go to account, and then you saw my one MLS. You can add other ones in there.
Oh, I can add multiple ones. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So the one problem I was doing, guys, is I was hitting back to main search instead of just the search button.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, ma'am.
On that setting up the account, the mobile access, do you need to download an app on your phone first? It's not coming up where I can enter a device.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you need to download the app on your phone and then you can
Okay.
log in through there because what you're gonna have to do is sync them.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
All right, guys, I apologize. I don't know what's going on with the school search today. But we'll go back and I'll do a neighborhood search and we'll go from there. All right. Yeah, you got to go in. If your branding isn't in there, guys, you got to go in. Thanks for jumping in on that, Mateo. You got to go in and you got to actually update your branding and logos. You also need to tie it, make sure it's tied to your MLS, because when you do that, it's going to tie to your brokerage. And when it ties to your brokerage, it'll automatically see that you're obviously part of EXP, and then it'll go from there. All right, so let's see if I have a little bit better luck here. So if you look, and the reason it's tied to mine, guys, is I can go in here and I can see my current listings down here. So I can go down, I can see my current listings. I can see my previous listings down through here, okay? So I can scroll through and I can see not only what I currently have, and you know that it's currently listed. So if you see these dots, these are all little legends and codes. The circle means it's active. The circle with a dot around or a black line around it means that it's pending. And then previously sold is squares. And where that becomes important is when you see them on the map. You can also go in and see properties you've either saved, you've recently done reports on, are both in here, okay? Recently searched, recently done reports. The other thing I can do is you can go in and add markets. So if you want to just continue to track certain markets in a map, you can go in and you can put those. So I can go in, I can add a market within the last certain amount of days, and you can go over here and you can put in a neighborhood, city, state, zip code, and you can add and search markets that way. All right, and that way you're constantly following certain markets. Here's another nice thing. You can do prospecting. So I can create flyers. I can create property reports. I have marketing tips in here. If you notice at the top of each one, you're going to have how to research, RPR marketing tips, picking the right report, when to do it. So these are all different things. And then I can go to here. And if I can't figure out how to set up my profile, I go to learn. The very first one is how to set up your profile. How do I add a photo? How do I set up forms? All right, there's a ton of different things in here. Right here, you know, how to wow clients face-to-face utilizing this tool. And then if you can't figure all that out, you can go to help, type in a question, and it'll go from there. If you go to my work over here to the right, you'll have saved properties, recent properties, listings, the same stuff you were seeing on that front page, reports, all that, okay? And then a quick introduction to it. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna jump right into a report, all right? And that's the most important part I wanna show you guys. This will give you a tour of the whole homepage, everything about it. This will show you how to prospect for clients, and it'll assist you in prospecting for clients. So if you wanna do circle searches and everything, like George teaches a lot of the every door direct mail, you can utilize this to prospect for clients. You can search using a map if you want to do an area search. Get out of here. I don't want to do a survey right now. You can do investor analysis. So if I want to create a report instead of investor analysis, I click right here. It'll show me how to go through and do an investor analysis of properties. And the difference of that is you're going to be able to search properties here. So you put in a property, you hit investor analysis, and you're going to be able to do what's called cap rates. If you have somebody who's wanting to buy and sell and they're like, I want to make this amount of return, you'll be able to go in and do it that way. Yep, Gary, exactly. You can access it through your MLS dashboard, or you can go directly through NAR, guys. Either way. The reason I like going directly through NAR is then you don't have to be in the MLS, but if you do it through MLS, then it should automatically link to your profile and everything, and you just go in and update a couple things. All right, so let's get into a report. So let's see here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna create, let's do a listing report of a property that I know I have coming up soon. So it's going to be, give me 1 second here, and bring up the address. Vista. And I've already done some searches on this and some research. So I'm going to bring this up, okay? And as you guys can see, the summary of the property is going to come here. I can look at the overhead map. I can look at a street map of it. It's a new area, so there's not going to be any street map. So I'm going to go to overhead. It's a new build. It was only built 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So there may not be any historical photos. All right. These are the historical photos I'm going to get out of it. But what I can do is, I know I'm going to be presenting something to this. So I can do two different things because I can change this photo. So what I'm probably going to do, if I'm taking this as part of a listing presentation, I'm going to go by the house and I'm going to take a really nice picture of the front of the house. And then I'm going to switch out this photo with a picture of the front of their house. All right. Now here's where I was saying you can look at the RPR values of it. And real quick, I can pull this up on site and it's going to give me an RVM estimate. So the RVM estimate is kind of what I referenced as a Zestimate, right? Everybody's familiar with Zestimate, so that's why I reference it, but I don't trust it, right? But if you click on these little eyes, it'll tell you specifically what that is. If you don't know something like that, it's going to go out and do it. It also shows you a confidence rating down here, all right, based off the properties in the area. It's going to show you the RVM estimated range. So while it's showing that this is 446, the range of the houses that it's basing that off of are 415 to 478 based off the sales in the area. All right. You can see who the owner is. And this is why I really like this, guys, is it's a really quick snapshot of the property. So the comp analysis shows 356, right? But that's just based off of the recent sales in the area. It's going to go in based off of the upgrades and everything of the house and the size and all that, and base it off of here. When I go in and redefine the value, I'll show you why, because of some of the upgrades she's done. And I'll kind of show you how I can mess around with that. If you scroll down a little bit, this is going to show you the price per square foot. And this is going to show you what it was last sold at. So I personally sold this house, so I know a lot about it. But if you haven't, I know that I came in, this person sold it, or they purchased it at 324 3 years ago. All right. So I'm now saying it's somewhere between 446 to 466. Based off of my refined value, it's at 466. Well, what's that telling me? More than likely, they have at least what, 142,000 in oh my God, revenue that they're going to make out of this house. And so when I talk to them, when I approach people and I ask them, I don't ask them like, hey, what do you want to sell this house for? I ask them, what do you want to walk away from the table at this house? And I did a listing thing the other day for my mentees in my Wednesday mentor class. And I told them, when you ask them that, you can now go into whoever you use as your title company. And that title company is going to have an online calculator for you. They also have one on RPR here that you can attach to it. But the reason I like the title company's one is it's automatically going to put all their fees into it. It's going to show closing costs. It's going to show doc fees. It's going to prorate and calculate taxes for you. So I can know ahead of time just about what they're going to walk away from the table with if they don't have a second mortgage. And I can calculate out commissions and everything else. And I can say, guys, at 466,000, we're going to walk away from the table. You're going to have, let's say at 6%. They're like, well, I want you to cut your commission. Well, I can already be prepared for that. I can be prepared for that comment by saying, if they tell me I want to walk away with $80,000, I say, okay, even add a 6% commission on both sides. I'm not awake enough to do fast math, but a 6% commission, we're looking at 27. Let's just call it 28,000, right? So that's 438 right there, minus 324. They're still looking at $114,000. All right. And then I go in and I add the doc fees and everything else. So they're probably still going to clear over $100,000 with me going in at 6% on, 3% on both sides. So if they tell me, hey, I want to make 90,000, I want to make 100,000 of this, but they tell me, right off the gun, they want me to cut my commission, I can show them why I'm of value by bringing all this information to them, and that even paying me and the buyer's agent at that value, they're still going to make what they want to. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. The other nice thing about this, I can show them that in the last year, their home has gone up 27% in value. And in the last month alone, it's gone up 8,400 in value. All right. Here's where I see the property facts. I can go in and change anything about the property facts and really pay attention to this, pull up tax records, because sometimes this is way off. Like I've seen the living area way off. I've seen, the bedrooms or the garage, like sometimes it just doesn't get reported properly, or it may be in taxes wrong. So you want to confirm with them the information about their house if this is the first time you've seen it. And I always do a phone call and then I go in and do all this. So for instance, it has the wall is stucco, right? Stucco is not a very great value in Florida, especially if it's not done properly, if it's not on block. Well, I know this is a cementous plank house. It's not stucco. So I go in and upgrade that, right? If there's other things you want to add to this, you can go in and add things. I confirm the school districts here. This AARP livability index, the interior features of the home, like this is going to show what it's built of, if it has porches, the perimeter of it, garages, so on and so forth. Exterior features, lot size, square footage of the lot, what type of roof it is. And then I don't really pay attention to this build quality one, guys. And it's showing C+ because it thinks it's a stucco. Here's the great thing. You can confirm this through FEMA, but you can pull this up really quick while you're on site. Somebody says, is this in a flood zone because there's water behind it? Nope, it's not in a flood zone. It's an X unshaded flood zone. All right, here's the owner facts of it. Legal description, bam, it's all right here. All right, so you can use this when you're putting listings together. This goes in, it shows you the tax information for it. This shows you the deed records. All right, who built it? All right, it was previously by Providence Homes. Here's all the mortgage records. You have everything right here on this homepage really quickly, okay? Here's the other nice thing. You have some quick market reports here on the right side, folks, that will show you median estimated homes in this zip code versus the rest of the state. 12 months change in it, all right? This area, this zip code specifically has changed 23%, over 17%. You can go in and have a real quick snapshot of all the market data in the area. Median days in RPR, okay? So that's median days on the market. This has been on the market. This zip code is 44 days. Average for Florida is 50 days. This is something you can present to them, and so that they know to expect how long their house is going to be on the market. So what that tells me is more than likely this neighborhood has gone on the market within the first week, if not the first couple days, because most mortgages are taking 40 to 45 days right now just because appraisers are so backed up. And so so that's what this is telling me. So you have an idea of when they should be expecting offers and when they should be expecting to close. All right. Now, here's the other great thing. All right. Everybody's crazy right now because they remembered the spring and the early summer when their houses were just flying off the market. Well, my neighbor got this much money. They got cash offers. They had 15 offers in the first 2 days. Well, you can show them this little snapshot right here, 12-month change in the median days in RPR. All right, we've dropped 26%. All of Florida has dropped almost 36%. So I can show them that of how fast this stuff is going off the market or how much it's slowed down, all based off of this. All right, let me check the chat. Yeah, great point was that on verifying the property records, because a lot of times that stuff's incorrect. Oh shit, sorry guys.
Matt, one of the cool things that people have found, and I use this, and thank you, man, you're doing an awesome job with this. I use this a lot and learned a lot from you. Taking that first page, just printing out the first page and taking it with a buyer. Everyone wants to take the listing, which you can, but it's just kind of neat. You just go to every showing with that. It just shows your preparedness. Even to take, print it as a PDF, and when you send them your schedule, depends on how you want to do it. I mean, we do a great job talking about the listing and having a listing package. It's one of the things you should add to your buyer package. At least maybe even the first 2 pages of this front page that Matt's pointing out. It's great information. It's awesome information.
Yeah, Bill,
sets you apart because nobody else does it.
Bill, that's an awesome point, man. Especially lately, folks, I've been seeing people put absolutely nothing in the MLS but the bare minimums. Like there's literally not even a description. Like I showed a house the other day. It was so frustrating. It said, "This is a great house, don't wait." Like that's all it said on the house. And that's absolutely ridiculous. And so you don't want to hand that to your buyers, right? You want them to be able to reference it. And Bill, that's a great point of printing this out. Do yourself a favor, folks, print one out for yourself too. That when they start asking you for it, you don't have to say, "Here, let me see it." Or you don't have to pull it up on your phone. All right. You have it right there in front of you that you can reference what they're talking about. Here's some history. You can go in here with the history. I'm not going to get too deep into this, folks, because you can see all kinds of crap in this. Sorry, the neighbor's dog's going nuts. You can go in here, you can pull up like historical charts, refined values, and I'm going to show you the refined values and I'm going to show you the CMA. All right. But when you pull up the charts, it's going to show you, all the stats we were talking about, estimated values. If you have a person that's very analytical, that is an engineer type, show them this stuff. They're going to love this, medium sales price versus values, to show them that, hey, everything's pretty much selling at price and at value here. So when they're like, "I want to sell at, 40,000 over what you recommended," you can say, "Well, that's not what I'm recommending, because if you look here, everything's pretty much right in line with sales price in this neighborhood." And you can go back 1 year, you can go back all the years, this shows the trends. All right, so this house specifically, folks, we've updated everything. We're going to go into the refined value now. This is my favorite part of our RPR, and this is where you can really crush it, all right, with your values. Almost every house I list, very rarely do I have to do a price reduction, maybe a little bit, but very rarely do I have to do a price reduction on my listings. The only time I really end up doing price reductions is if the seller is just a total pain in the butt and will not agree to my list price that I recommend. And what I do is I'm like, "That's fine. We'll list it at your price, but we're going to do a reduction down to my price if we don't have offers in 7 days, 10 days, whatever your timeline is." I highly recommend not more than 7 days, because once you get past 2 to 3 weeks, you're starting to get lost in the sauce there. You do your price reduction, brings it back to the beginning in your MLSs, right? Puts it on that hot sheet again. And so that's the only time I really end up doing price reductions. But I go in here, I look at this 3-bedroom, 2-bath, everything's good here, okay? If I had to adjust something, and this is where you'll see a difference. Sometimes the square footage is way off, and it may be too much square footage, it may be too little square footage, but I want to show you guys this price difference. So if this in public records is showing 1633, because sometimes public records may pull from an MLS listing or something, right? Well, it's actually 1833. They cheated me 200 square feet. I can apply this. It's now adding 51,000 to the price of that house. All right. And it's going to go in and do that automatically when I change that up. Now I know it's 1633. So I don't want to do that. We're now back to 0. Hope everybody saw how that went, but that's just adjusting something in here. If it's a 4-bedroom and not a 3-bedroom, I can go in, I can change that 4-bedroom to 3-bedroom. It's now giving me 34,000 for that new bedroom. All right. So little quick price adjustments that you can do instead of going, okay, you have a 4th bedroom, well, that's going to add this much. This will also help you learn, folks. That's what I love about it. All right, this is my favorite part of this. These next 3 things is my favorite part of RPR. So I go in here, what time am I at? 9:06, okay, cool. So refine value, okay, pay attention to these 2. Buy home improvements, buy needed improvements. This one right here is home improvements that are done to it. So we're just going to pretend this is an older house. All right. We're going to go in here, kind of look at the different things, deck addition, bathroom, and it shows mid-range, upscale, okay. For all these, entry door replacement, family room addition, garage door, kitchen remodels, if a suite was added on, just be careful. For some reason it's splits because it goes alphabetically, if you notice there. So you have major kitchen remodel, minor kitchen remodel. So a major kitchen remodel would be like all the cabinets, the countertops, they opened up a wall, they added all new appliances. A minor kitchen remodel would be they maybe changed the countertops or they brought in stainless steel appliances, okay? So, and then if they did all the windows here, if you notice there's no flooring. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to other. And here's the great part about this, okay? We're in, what are we in, October now? This was done in January is what we're gonna do with this. January of 21, we did all new flooring for $4,000. We're gonna go luxury vinyl plank, right? Which is also referred to as LVP. All right, so they added $4,000 in luxury vinyl plank. Now, here's the great thing, because the buyer always wants to see, or the seller of the house always wants to see, well, I did $4,000 worth of flooring. You're right, you did back in January. But when I add it, oh, damn it, it didn't do it. All right, give me a second. When I add it, let's go back and do this again. We're going to make it a little bit older, okay? So we're going to go January of 20. $4,000, LVP, add. There we go. So now it prorates it for me to 3,800. Now that's because that doesn't really go down that much. Okay. Well, they put a new roof on this house 3 years ago. All right. So roof, 25-year shingle, architectural shingle, whatever it may be. All right. They did this in January of, see, we said 3 years ago, right? So we'll go September of 18. It was a $15,000 roof. I add that, $12,750. So do you guys see how this starts to, this prorates, but it starts to add up, right? Now here's the great thing. I can screenshot this if I want to, or what I can do is I can take it like this. And what I always do is whenever I do a listing, okay, I do what's called an upgrade sheet, if there's been any upgrades. I also do a needed upgrade sheet, to be honest with you, because that's going to show people we have priced the house knowing these are the things that need to be done to it. And they're also not going to have any surprises when they do an inspection, because it's going to tie into my seller's disclosure. Okay. So this builds honesty. This also builds an expertise. When I put in offers with folks, I show this to them, and I'll show you what I do next with them. And when I put in an offer in a house, I show people that if I'm coming from the buyer side, okay, so what I'm showing right now is a listing side. I'm able to show selling agents, this is what's been done. Here's the value of it. I copy and paste this to a Word document and I say home upgrades. All right. Now they're seeing what the upgrade was. They're seeing the original cost of the upgrade. They're seeing the date it was completed, and they're seeing my prorated cost. So they're seeing that I'm not charging them the original, I'm not basing the value of the home off the original cost of the project. I'm basing it off of what today's value of the project was. And that builds a lot of rapport with the buyer and with the agent, because they're not coming in and going, well, yeah, it's a $15,000 roof, but it's 5 years old or 3 years old. You know what I mean? They're seeing my prorated amount, and that's what I'm basing the value of the house off of, because this is showing how much I added based off that. Cool. I'm going to pause real quick. Any questions on what I've talked about so far? All right, cool.
These,
So
these
this-
refinements, that we did, you just got to be prepared to talk about it with the appraiser when you meet them, and make sure you say, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I will always meet the appraiser here, and I'm going to make sure that they understand the improvements you've made to the house. It's just another way to kind of sell yourself, but be prepared for the appraiser to justify the pricing.
Absolutely, Bill. Great points. And I'm going to take it one step further, folks. You're going to print this report out, and then you're going to print the improvements, the home improvement sheet out that you put on MLS documents. All right. And you're going to leave both of those sitting on the counter, and you're going to tell your sellers to make sure those are on the counter every time somebody comes through for a showing, and especially when that appraiser comes through, because you're going to have all the comps you used for that appraisal sitting right there, and you're going to have all the upgrades for that appraisal. And appraisers are incredibly busy. They're going to greatly appreciate this stuff sitting out there. You never had a conversation with the appraisal, but you definitely helped them out. All right. I'm telling you guys, this is gold sitting out there. All right, so that's home improvements that have been done. All right, now refined values, and this is what I use for my valuations, but I also use to bring sellers out of the clouds. All right, so I also do this for the buyer. So you bring the sellers out of the clouds with this. You're doing that two ways. Number one, you're showing them that, hey guys, that's awesome that you put 15,000 into this. It's now worth 12. Or if it's a 7-year-old roof, you know, they'll put, you know, agents will put newer roof, 7 years old. And you're like, yeah, that's awesome. They did that 15,000. It's now a $9,000 roof. You can show the buyer's agent or this listing agent that if you're representing the buyer, and you can show them, hey, yeah, that's awesome. It has a roof that's 7 years old. Here's the value of that roof. You guys have priced too high. And here's why we're offering what we're offering. All right. You truly become an expert in the market, and you truly become an expert of that house. All right. You might get beat out by somebody because they're willing to pay more than what it's worth, but that's where you discuss other things, you know, like escalatory clauses and so on. All right. So refined values. So we're going to go in, and I'm going to remove this roof right now, guys. All right. So the only improvement we had was you know, everything else was great in the house. That's why the house sold for the amount that it was, so on and so forth. The only thing they did after closing was the LVP. Okay. Now, let's say this house is older, and I know we need a roof. So we need a roof 25 year. Okay. That total cost is going to be 15,000. This is not prorated. All right. So now we've gone in, and I know we need a roof because it's not going to meet inspections, or it's damn close to not having 5 years of life on it. Okay. So you need, for the newer agents, you need 5 years of life to get insurance on a roof, especially if you're looking at an FHA or VA. They're super strict on it. So I go there. Now I have 3,800 in upgrades. I have negative 15,000. And here's what I want to show you. If I go up here, my original estimate based off the RVM, what RPR is saying this house is worth, is 446,000. My refined changes are 8295, and I'll show you why that adjusted. I know the math doesn't make sense yet, but it will. So the refined value on this is 455. Okay, that's taking this stuff into account, but what it's also taken is, so the roof's the only thing I'm going to add to this. Okay, some other things that may be easier. Let's say it doesn't need a roof, but I know it needs an HVAC. So I'm going to say, guys, your HVAC's 15 years old. That sucker's shot. Guarantee it's going to come up on an inspection report. HVAC system, $7,500. All All right, so now I have 7,500 for an HVAC system, water heater is shot as well. It's 12 years old. We're just gonna say, let's say 800 bucks for a water heater installed. So 8,300. If you don't know these numbers, guys, super easy. All right, go on to Home Depot, see what a water heater costs, estimate about 100 to 150 an hour for install for this stuff. Okay, Google how much is it to install an HVAC right now. People will tell you, you know, it's all over the internet. You're just estimating right here. All right, this is where you get this number. So right now, my refined changes, I've added 15,000 in value to this house. 461 is what I'm estimating it's out right now. Now, here's where that number really changes. Here's where I'm getting this. Because right now, I need 8,300 in upgrades, but I've only added 3,800, right? So that doesn't quite make sense right there. All right. Here's where those numbers all make sense. If you see down here, I've added almost 20,000 into this. All right. And here's why. When I first did this house, it was early summer when she told me she wanted to sell. She's dialed it back and she had some family stuff, so it's gone on hold. Well, the market's no longer right here, is it? Right? We've slowed down, kids are in school, interest rates are still pretty good. But let's just say, you know, it's about probably right here right now. All right. Home exterior, all the houses are about the same in that neighborhood. Maybe one or two of them are, you know, stucco or something, but I'm pretty certain they don't allow stucco in that neighborhood. So everything has to be cementous siding. The interior condition. Well, you know, not all of them. She did quartz. She did a gourmet kitchen. So maybe we're going to be right here. And these are all questions you want to ask them on an initial phone call. All right. Please tell me, what upgrades have you done to the home, so on and so forth. You're going to go through and check those upgrades. But when you show up with this, you're going to have a basic idea. All right. You may have to adjust it a little bit here or there. Lot size. She might be on a little bit smaller lot than some people. All right. The view. She backs up to a preserve. Maybe some of the others back up to water, but it's definitely better than the ones that back up to another house. So we're going to bump this up a little bit. Okay. On the view, and then privacy. A little bit more privacy. Okay. So her lot size is a little bit smaller. Now here's the other thing, and this is where you can kind of mess around with it. All right. If I go up here and I'm like, there's no way this house is listing at 460, and I certainly don't want to list it at 460, I can kind of make some adjustments here, folks, to get that to where it's at. So I don't get that argument. Well, your paperwork says it's 460. I want to sell the house at 460. All right. Here's the other argument you can use for that. Oh, sorry, real quick. Any questions on the adjustments here? So I've added in refined value based off of needed improvements. And if you're like, you know what, we're good on the water heater, I'm going to remove this. The other thing you can do is when you show up to the house with this printed out, you can look at it and you're like, they're like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, we replace the water heater next year. You just draw a line through that. Okay. You remove 800 bucks from this needed improvement. Down here, you just adjust this around a little bit as you need to. You get there, you see, all right, well, the view, oh, excuse me, isn't very nice because even though it backs up to the woods, there's a commercial property behind those woods. So maybe the view isn't quite as nice. So I'm going to need to adjust this a little bit. These are all things you play around with and you just get to know. But as I go up here, I made these adjustments. I'm pretty confident with this house at like 460,000. Okay. Let's see here. So now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do my CMA. So now when I do my CMA, I can see this market is currently off, or this property is currently off market. Here was what the estimated value was, square footage, so on and so forth. All right. Don't do this sales comparison analysis. This is more of an incredibly detailed evaluation of it from like more of a, these are more for appraiser analysis. Okay. And it'll show you the difference right over here. So go up here, do your comparative analysis. You've already done your updated facts. That's all good. And then, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to go in, and this will say, I've already run this report for this property. It's the one I use for most of my training, but I'm going to go in here and I'm going to run my comps. All right. So now when I run my comps, I personally always like to do actives, pendings, and close, because especially for a listing and for a buyer, I want to show them what's currently on the market, what's currently under contract. That way I can show them the pricing and I can show them how long it's been there. So when they're like, well, you know, my neighbors have theirs priced at, you know, such and such price, 480, and you're saying 460, I can say, yeah, that's great that they have theirs at 480 with this active, but they've also been on the market for 60 days with no offers, guys. What's that telling you about the price? I can show them that that home is overpriced right then and there. All right. If I'm doing condos, if I want to remove single families, if I'm just doing lots or land right here, I can do that. Okay. The market date, I can do month, I can do week, month, last 3 months, last 6 months. All right. If I want to do a date range, I can do that. Here is where I decide what I want to search with. So I want to search 3 to 4 bedrooms. I want to search 2 to 3 bathrooms. It's a 1,600 square foot, so that probably falls out pretty good. And then lot size. I can figure out the price range. I don't want to be in with $800,000-$900,000 houses, right? That doesn't really do much for me. So I can go in here. If I want to search it by square footage instead, I can search it by square footage instead of price. Okay. There's a lot of different ways you can adjust your searches here. Year built, 2010 to whatever. And then if there's keywords, if I want to throw in pool or, you know, waterfront or whatever, I can throw in up to 6 keywords here to add to that search to find my comps. And that's just kind of about playing with it and getting used to what you want to search with. And this is going to have to be different every single property, because you may do a search and you may pull nothing. So you may have to bump out to a year. You may have to adjust your square footage and just kind of play around with this if you're not getting a good search. All right. So this is showing stuff I've already selected, but I'm going to go in and I'm going to search. All right. So this is my subject property right here. So these are homes right now that are pending or for sale. All right. With the circle and the black mark. These are the ones that have squares. They're my recently closed ones. These are ones that are out there and I used as a comp previously because they closed. Okay. But I can go in and I can deselect them if I want here in a minute. So here's your comps. So 8 recent sold properties within the last 6 months. So what it's going to show is it's going to show the proximity or the distance to my listing. It's going to show how many days it was in the system, the date that it closed, okay, the price that it closed at, the price per square foot, the square footage, that it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, the year it was built, and then what this shows is that it was actually used in the RVM to calculate my prices, all right? So I can decide whether or not I want to use it in my comp list by clicking right here. So I just do click, it adds to the comps. All right, same thing here. This one was at 233. It sold for 410. That looks like that was a new construction. It was used in the comp list. Okay. So I'm gonna click on that one. I'm not gonna click on this one. It's a little bit smaller. This one's bigger. It's an older house. It's further away. This is a new construction and it's the exact same model. So I may want to use that to show them, hey, this is a brand new construction, guys. This is when it closed. We're probably going to need to use this one. All right. But a bunch of different things we can do in here. Here's the ones that are for sale. This one was used in the RVM. Okay. And the nice thing about this is showing, especially like this one or this one, this is showing what the builder is selling the exact same model for right now. So the builder's selling the model. It's more square footage, but it's 1,810 square feet. So I may want to show this, or I may want to put these in my comps. All right. And there's currently, here's the other nice thing. There's currently nothing active in this price range. So I know ours is probably going to sell really fast. All right. Now, This may panic you a little bit because this is showing average of the comps is 391, adjustments, review of the comp analysis. All right. Now, adjustments is not that number I added in, folks. That's not even showing here. Okay. This is just comps. So I've added my comps. I hit edit. Now, here's where I adjust the comps based off of my build. All right. So this one sold for $218 a square foot. I can click here and I can flip through and see why did this sell for $218 a square foot. All right. Well, they use granite, not quartz. It's pretty much the same house, so on and so forth. Okay. They did, it's almost exactly the same house. All right. So this is where I show them like, hey guys, this is where the house is at right now. But here's the nice thing. Let's say this house isn't as nice as mine. And this one closed over a year ago. Right. So I may want to drop this one from my comps, but I'm going to go down here and I'm going to bump this one down to worse because it doesn't have some of the upgrades mine does. It's now added 3,200 to the price of my property because it doesn't quite measure up to my property. It doesn't have as nice of upgrades. Does that make sense? So I can go through and I can do that for every single property. I can go through and I can say, all right, this one closed over a year ago. Not as nice, not as nice. You know what I mean? Like based off of the current market. So now I've added 8,400. I'm going to update my valuation. I'm going to close. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my report. All right. Now pay attention to your reports. You can do a single page property flyer. You can do a mini property report. Don't do this one. You can do a market activity. You can do a neighborhood. You can do a school. Okay. Nice thing is you can do a sample. So I can click on view sample and it's going to show me what this property is going to look like. All right. I can click through it. I can see the facts. I can see the interior features. I can see the history of the area. But what this isn't showing me is any of my comps. All right. This is just a quick little report about the property. Seller's report is 81 pages. That's a big report. I always click on the property report. And then what I do is I click on this little drop down, and I know this is a lot of info, folks. I apologize, but I want to get to all of this. And this is the last step of it. So I go here and I can remove the things that I don't care about them seeing. All right. So home facts, homeowners facts, so on and so forth. They know about themselves. All right. They don't care. They don't care about the AARP livability index of their home. So I can remove the homeowner facts and all that from it. I don't need all the property photos in there or the historical photos. Maybe I want one property photo. Refined value comp analysis, my comps and adjustments. So I can show them why I adjusted it towards their neighbor's house. They don't care about the mortgage records probably. Distressed info I can remove. All right. The housing charts. Base this all off of what type of person it is. Okay. But what you can do is if you're not sure if you want this piece of information or not, just go over here. I don't need to show them this map chart. They don't care. All right. Housing charts. They may want to see that one. All right. Quality of life stats. They may not need to see that one. Okay. But if it's a family, they may want to see this one. All right. School summaries. What schools are there? Is it an A+ rating? Is it, it shows all the statistics from that school. I always remove the RPR data, and then you always want to include your notes because underneath your comps, you can write little notes about it. Like this doesn't have upgraded kitchen flooring. This has a pool. You can put why you made that comp higher or lower. You can suppress the estimated values if you want, which is the RVM. You can suppress the estimated value for the comps. You can remove public records. There's a ton of stuff you can do with this. All right. So I've now removed quite a bit about that. And I'm gonna bring this down here. Recipient name. Here's where you do, all right. Mr. George Philbeck. Good morning, George. Here's the report I have prepared. Oops. Please review prior to our meeting on October 7th at 4 p.m. Look forward to touring your home. All right. So little thing, this way they have a chance to go up through everything. You're not wasting as much time at the report or at the meeting or at the listing appointment. You can be short, sweet. They saw that you prepared. If they use this and try and sell for by owner, good luck. You know what I mean? That's a risk I'm going to take, but you can email it to them. So I can put in their email. It's going to be from my email, and I always have it CC'd to me. That way I can print out the report. All right. Over here, make sure all this is correct. So this is going to show you what it's going to look like. Obviously, it's not that house, but this gives you the layout. These are the things I want to show on my cover page. All right. You can show page numbers if you want so that you can move along. You can say flip to page 8. Here's my profile. If there's anything I need to change about it, I go here. I can collapse that down if I don't want to see it. If I need to change anything, it's right down here. But this is how it's going to show up when I run the report. So I'm going to run it. This will take just a couple seconds, guys. I'm just going to send it to myself. All right, run the report. So this just takes a couple seconds. You can go off and start doing work, whatever you want, because you're going to get a little notification when that's done. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, and that's awesome jumping in, Daryl. And you guys, here's my number. That popped up to Gwen for some reason. Here's my number, folks. Shoot me a text anytime. If you have a question about this, and I can help you out the best I can over the phone, we can pop on a Zoom call. I can help you out with it, whatever you guys want. But like I said, this has been amazing for my business, folks. You can go up here. I'm running a property report. You can see what it is. Come on, pop open for me. All right, there we go. So my report's ready. I'm going to download it, and I've got 2 minutes, George and Tiff, and I'm out of here. So this is what it looks like, guys. Look, eXp Realty, bam, right up top, property report. Here's your address, George Philbeck. I changed this photo, guys. I just didn't mess with it. But look, here's my smiling face. All my info is right here. So this is now sitting on their counter. Everybody sees my info. Buyer comes through. They're like, holy shit, this guy's squared away. Look at all his info. They snap a photo of this, okay? Here's a quick note I wrote to the person. Now, here's the thing. They see estimated value of RVM was 446. All right, there's the confidence in it. Here's the changes in it. Here's the comp analysis. Here's the comp analysis of the subject properties. Here's the recommended value I've made of the house. Okay, this is an average, guys. This isn't necessarily what theirs is. Here's the number I want them to focus on. Okay, here's the facts about the home, so you can quick reference those. Here's the original estimated value. Here's the home improvements I've added. Here's the needed improvements to the house. Here's the improvements based off the market condition. Here's what the final value is. And this is how I came up with that value. Everybody can see this. This is what I send to the buyer's agent when I'm making an offer. I show them this. Hey, here's what it says it's worth. Here's what I did based off of what your upgrade sheet says. Here's the needed improvements to your house. Look at this. I even adjusted for your market conditions. Here's why we're making the offer on your home. All right. So they know I took everything into account. I'm not trying to shortchange them. I even show them what the market conditions are. I go down here. They can see that I added the improvements that they put on their upgrades list. I added the improvements that based off of our tour. And now this is as a buyer, guys, or the seller, really. Here's the needed improvements for the house. Here's what it needs to be. Here's the amount that it is. That's why we're making the offer that we're making. All right. Here's the market analysis. Here's the map showing all the comps. And look, it even shows every single one of them. 7, 8, and 9 are the ones I picked. Here's where they're at down here. Quick summary of them. stuff that's closed, stuff that's off market. All right. Quick property histories, neighborhood charts that I talked about the engineers would like. Median sales, because some people like to see that stuff based off of what the houses are. And then age range of the homes. You can show them all that info. And I know I'm going through this quickly, but you show them, that's great. Your house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Not as many people are looking for that. The target one here is 185, guys. Or there's been 185 4-bedrooms sold. So this is where we fall out. We're aggressive, but we're not the most sought after homes. Your house is a little small for what people are looking for. You're under 1,800 square feet. You're number 2 once again, okay? So this is where you can really show them that you're an expert in that neighborhood. This is where you show them the county based off the state, so on and so forth. And you can adjust and remove all this stuff, all right? However you want, just kind of play around with it, get used to it, what you want to keep in there. Here's the school reports. Obviously, if this is a buyer report, guys, I don't use as much stuff, but check this out. And here's something super cool. I can get down here at the bottom, look at all of my EXP partners that I can help them out with. Right down here at the bottom of my report. All right. And everything's good. So I can kind of pick and choose what pages I use here, but I've taken a 28-page report. I've knocked it down to, 24 pages, but really I could make this about a 15-page report, guys, if not less, maybe a 12-page report, and have really pertinent information in here. That's it. I'm sorry. I know that was incredibly fast, but I'll open it up for any questions. And here's, I'll also throw my email in there. So if you guys want me to email you a copy of, oh geez, can't remember my email right now. What's the group?
This is also going to be on our YouTube channel. We have a specific channel just for this so that we can share it a little easier with our friends or somebody we're having a conversation with. And if I can get Joe drop that in there, that would be awesome. The link to the YouTube channel, please, when we're doing it. Matt, I'm going to selfishly ask you one question. In that report at the very end where you've got like 84 different pages, is there a way to save a template? So you say, I want all of these always in a report, and I can click on a template.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can go in at the beginning. I'm not certain. I apologize. I can't right off the bat show you guys exactly where it's at, but there is a way to go in and save your template for each report. It's also based off of what you choose as you're going through. Okay. But as you're creating the report, but you can go in and say, here's what I want the reports to look like every single time. I just kind of know, like, here's what I want to provide to them. And I click through it really quick. But you can go in and add and remove it as well every single time, guys, depending upon the customer that you're working with. I have some that are incredibly analytical people and they want to see all those market reports. I have some that want to see their house, they want to see their comps, and they want to see what I'm going to list it at.
Right on. Yeah. And that's where you get to feel them out. And it does make sense to select. It'd just be nice to have a basic one. There's some things in there that I think I've never used before. And I just wanted to weed them out so they weren't an option, and then probably diminish some others that are important too. Most important though,
and that's under when you go to reports, that's underneath your reports. You can do create templates. But you can also, if you go into the help section of the reports, it'll show you how to do that.
Outstanding.
I haven't done that in a while, so I'm not quite sure how to go straight to it, but that's an awesome question.
There's so much good training in here. If you don't know how to use it, besides this class, obviously the link for the YouTube channel, you can go in and just do me a favor. Everybody go into the YouTube channel. It's in the chat box. Subscribe to the channel, like the channel, give it a thumbs up. That's going to give it a little more push when we want it. It's more for us than anything else. And it's all of the classes we're teaching. So if you've got a good class in there, write a comment on it. It will make a difference. And it's going to make it easier for people to search. Like when this one gets loaded up in about an hour or so, click on it and then obviously put it in there. And put in a comment like, great class, loved how I could do this, whatever it is, it'll give it a little more juice and make it easier for people to find, particularly us being the people I'm interested in. That was amazing. Wanda, you got your hand up. What's up? Hi.
Hey, I use RPR. I've been using it for several years now. The one thing I have not been able to figure out is how to change the picture of the home. Can you please just tell me how to do that?
Yes, ma'am. So Here, let me go back and share, guys. I apologize. All right, so when you go in, all right, can everybody see my screen? All right, so when you go in here, it is in it's gonna make a fool out of me now, aren't you? Let's see here. I believe it's once I do my summary of the property, Wanda, once I create this report here. And I forgot to show you guys, here's another awesome thing. You can resend it. You can review the report activity. You can also post it directly to Facebook if you want to. So what I can do with that, and I forgot to show that, but what I can do with that is you can go there, property report, obviously I've run 2 different ones, but you can go to Facebook. But what I can do is I can just post instead of this one. I could just post like the property flyer straight to Facebook, and it's an awesome looking flyer. It's right here. I can create a slideshow with it if I have multiple photos I want to put in here, and it shows a quick snapshot of the left. It shows all my info, and it shows this right here. This is perfect, folks, for open houses. This is also perfect for open houses. If you do a mini one, you can add a couple different pages in there and you can hand that out to folks. Shoot, Wanda, give me a second. I can't remember how to change that photo. I tell you what, I'm going to figure that out and I will send that directly back to you. But yeah, no, I can't figure out how to change that photo now that I talked about it.
No, I never could either. And I wanted to post it to Facebook and all of that, but without being able to change the photo, it doesn't do me any good.
So here we go. So yeah, so you can also go in and add a customized one. My update, choose photos, click add photos. All right, so what we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna bring that one up again. Let's go to home. So we're gonna go 402, Mr. Lake. All right, so we're gonna bring up the subject property and we're gonna go to my updates. I'm going to be determined to figure this one out. Man, I know it's right here. That's going to drive me crazy. All right, I'll figure it out, guys. Yeah, I apologize. I'm not sure on that one. You used to be able to just click right
like
up
where it
there
says
and
street on the
change.
top left.
Here we go. My updates right here. So notes, you can add notes to it. You can do the seller proceeds right here is where I talked about, folks, which you can make that in there, but you go to photos right here. So you do add photos, okay? You can pick them from any spot on here. So I'm just gonna go real estate. Shoot, where's my real estate folder? Real estate. Oh, I know. I have some in my new builds. Here we go. Real estate, real estate. Here we go. Legacy Realty.
I never even seen that my updates box until just now when you.
Yeah, it hides right there on the right. Well, and if there's nothing in there, you kind of just breeze past it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
All right. I'm just going to add a silly photo in there. So you go open. Right there. Use for report cover is right here. And then you hit save.
Thank you very much.
So now when I run that report and I view the sample, it's not going to show it because that's a sample. Okay. But now when I do that, it should, here, you can also do just display now as PDF, guys, if you don't want to email it anywhere. It's going to run it and then it'll pop up. So right there on that right side, you do photos, my updates. That's also where you can add notes. And that's also where you can do the seller's disclosure. Okay. Or the seller's proceeds. So if I go back to here, I scroll down to that one, this seller's proceed block, add seller's proceeds. I can do that. And this is where I can show them the difference. If they're like, I absolutely want to price this at 470, or I give them a range, let's price at 450. Whoops. I know we're way into the after party and a lot of people had to jam, but you can put in their first loan, their second loan. You can put in your real estate commissions, escrow fees, home warranty, pest inspection, tax stamps, all this stuff right here, guys. Any concessions, any conveyances, net cash to seller will pop up down here. So let's say it's 3%, right? So that's what 9,000, 13.5 sounds about right, right? 13.5. All right, we go in here. We'll just say, whatever, 1,000, so on and so forth, all the way down. It'll show your net cash to seller right here. If they, all right, so, and you can put in their first stuff, all that, and you can print that out. So there you go. So it changes the primary one right there. Cool.
Thank you.
Yes, didn't fail. But this is where you'll do that net proceeds. So if you know their first loan, you're going to sell for 450, they owe 324 on it, right? So go down here. After everything, she's going to walk away. And that's with my 6% commission, guys, or my 3% commission. She's going to walk away with 111.5. All right. So you're like, you can make over $100,000 on this. And we're going to draw in a lot stronger buyers agents by going full commission price. Cool. All right. Any other questions?
Very good. Thank you. Oh, Yogi, was that a question? Yes, no, maybe so. Oh, no, he's talking on the phone. Okay, I think we're good. Awesome. Thank
All
you,
right.
Matt.
Thank you, everybody, for coming today.
Thank you, Matt.
Go out and crush it. Reach out, please. Shoot me a text. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. If you guys have a quick question, shoot a text to me, and I could probably guide you in the right direction. If not, and if you send me a text with a screenshot, that'll be even more helpful. Hope everybody has an awesome, I don't know, whatever day of the week it is. Tuesday?
All right.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday. I got 4 kids and they're all in sports, so my weekends just kind of roll into my weekdays.
I'm just laughing. I'm like, it's fine. We love you anyways. Go for it.
Well,
Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down as far as the recordings go.